We're seeing this a lot these days. Now hiring. Signs all over the place. And it's not just at convenience stores and gas stations and pizza places and McDonald's. It's everywhere. Companies are looking for good people and there's just not a lot of them out there. Why is that? Well, that's because there's just so many jobs that are available right now, and people are overqualified and underqualified and all over the place, and all those things matter. But ultimately, benefits are being offered to people now that weren't being offered before. Pay rates increasing. So folks aren't wanting to settle for a $9 an hour job, and even teenagers, when they can go make 12, 13, 14 an hour, depending on where you live. And of course, if you're in higher cost of living states like California and New York, those $15, $16, $17, $18 an hour. So how do we find good people? And how do we hire people? How do we keep good people? Well, in this particular series of podcast/YouTube videos, we're going to talk to you about my secrets to success in hiring. And while we have a 92% retention rate at my company, how we do that, how we go about getting those people, finding them, and keeping them long term. Stay tuned to find out more. Welcome to the Rapport Advantage Podcast. I am Alex Swire-Clark, human behavior expert, author, and award-winning speaker. Understand yourself and others to unlock your potential. Welcome back to the channel. Alex Swire-Clark, emotional intelligence expert, author, and award-winning speaker here with you, talking today about our 5 secrets to successful hiring. So in this climate, it's so tough to find good people, to retain good people. What do we do about compensation? What do we do about, interview process? What do we do about retention? Well, we're going to focus on the interview process today and figuring out, this is the first part in a 5-part series of the secrets. What's going to take to make that successful hire, to get the best person for that role? So secret number 1 I'm giving you today is core values. Wait a minute, Alex, what about skills? What about their resume? All that stuff will come. But without core value alignment, they're not going to stay long anyway. So what's the point? What's the point? I don't want to spend my time, your time, their time trying to figure out somebody who's going to be coming to work every day and it's nails on a chalkboard all the time. So that starts with core values. The first thing is, what are your company's core values? What's your mission, vision, and values? If you don't have those listed, stop the video right now, get that done, and then come back and finish watching the rest of this video. Because without core values, we really don't have anything in terms of the bottom line, foundational motivators and things that we do in terms of our company on a daily basis that drive us forward. And so for our company, my medical billing company, Solor, those core values are pretty simple. We have 4 of them. It's integrity, clients first, teamwork, and take the next step. Integrity, clients first, teamwork, and take the next step. And we explain those in our processes when first day they come on board. We talk about core values. We talk about core values before they're even hired. How do you do that, Alex? Well, the first line of my job description, we use ZipRecruiter. The first line says, before anything else, it says, here's the role, here's the thing, blah, blah, blah. First line of narrative says, these are our core values as a company. Integrity, clients first, teamwork, and take the next step. If you don't agree with these, or these don't fit who you are as a person, stop reading now. That's it. Stop reading. I don't want you moving forward in the process, right? Because there's not core value alignment. It's going to be a problem for you. It's going to be a problem for us. And it's just going to be very icky. But why would we want to do that? So that self-selects people out of the equation. And that's what we want, right? We want to get good people who are going to move further and further and further down the pipeline, selecting this, and yes, they're bad. Yes, they're bad. Yes. And they get to the point where it's like, okay, I've ticked every box going down the page in terms of my skill set, my experience, the pay rate works well, benefits, all that kind of good stuff. But it starts with the foundation of core values. That's imperative. So in our job descriptions, every single one we put out there, you can go to ZipRecruiter right now and look up Solor and some of the positions we might have open or positions that have been closed, and you'll see that that's the first line in what we do. And of course, we talk about rate of pay and we talk about expectations, and all that goes back into who's the audience we're looking for, who we're trying to attract. And that's in our next video when we're talking about our second secret, which I'm not going to share. So that's the first part of core values in terms of letting the candidates know what our core values are. But the second part is identifying what their core values are. So see if there's alignment there. How do I go about doing that? Well, it's pretty simple. Number one, as soon as they apply, we will send out an email that says, Thanks so much for your application. The first step in the process is sending us a personal core value statement. In other words, what are your core values and how do you live them out in the workplace? What are your personal core values and how do you live them out in the workplace? What does that do for us? Well, number one, it shows us, do they have core value alignment? Did they take the time to read our ad? Do they believe in integrity? Do they believe in serving others, servant leadership? Do they believe in, this is not my job. I don't have time for that. I need people who are going to work together to pick up the pieces when it's all falling down, or to work together for the common good. And then, taking the next step, that whole mentality of taking initiative. This is not my job to do. That should never be said in our company. So picking up something, asking the right question, taking this step, doing this research, trying to figure out the problem so we can be problem solvers and not dump everything on our managers' plates. So in that statement, they're going to give us some idea of that personal core value alignment. And then number two, can they communicate? Do you want people that can communicate in your organization? I sure do. And so if they're not even going to take the time to cross their T's and dot their I's and make sure their punctuation's correct, or did they use complete sentences? Do they capitalize words? They just throw something down when they were stuck at a red light in a car? Do I want those kind of folks on my team? I certainly don't want those folks on my team. I want folks who are attention to detail, because the positions that I hire for in a medical billing company demand that. They demand it. So I have to have it. And so again, if they're not going to take the time to explain those details about their core values and really go back and check their work or whatever else, they're not using complete sentences or whatever, they're going to be limited in how they communicate within my team and with my clients that we serve and our customers. So I certainly want to be mindful of that when I'm doing those applications. And we grade those A, B, C, D, E, F. Not E. There's no E in the grade book. So A, B, C, D, E, F. And if they get like less than a C, I don't have time for them, because again, that's something I got to coach through once they come on my team. Now, if they're phenomenal in other ways, that may be fine. But without core values and ability to communicate, they're not going to serve me, the company, or themselves in a good way in terms of what we do. So that's secret number one. Core values. What are yours as a company, and how do you identify the core values of the clients that you have? More importantly, when we hire, how do you identify the core values of the people we're trying to find, our hiring folks, our job applicants? Those resumes, they tell a piece of the story, but we're going to build more of the story as we go through this. So the first part of the story is, what are their personal core values? How do they live them out in the workplace? How do we find that out? We ask. We ask the question. All right. So that's tip number one. Join me back on the channel for tip number two. You can find this on the podcast as well, the Rapport Advantage podcast. Yes, I do have a podcast out there. It mirrors very closely the content we put on the channel. So if that's a way for you to consume content, happy for you to download that on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find those podcasts. We have free mini courses for couples. We have free mini courses for you just to get a little bit more of this self-awareness, this emotional intelligence piece going on. You'll find a link in the description below. And again, as always, if you like what you see here on the channel, we'd love for you to subscribe. Growing the channel, providing you tremendous content in your personal and professional lives to make yourself better, because it starts with self-awareness. Understand yourself, then others, then adapt your behavior so that you can meet others where they are, and that will transform the way you communicate. We'll see you on the next time.